Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. In this video, I'm gonna talk about two things. They're both related to Git. Okay. They're not related. These are not really for new developers. If you're a new developer, Git is already too hard. You don't need to worry about gitflow or whatever I'm gonna talk about now. So the first thing is gitflow. Okay, which is branch-based development. What is branch-based development? Okay. um, if you're solo developer, first of all, okay, you're just working on a project yourself, you don't need to create multiple branch. But there is more than one developers involved, there's a team involved, okay, then it's advisable that you take the main branch and you create a new branch off of that. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you do git pull, clone the main branch, and then you create a new branch from that branch. So now you have a copy of that branch. Okay, for example, you might want to call it feature one. You take main branch, create feature one from that branch. Okay, then you work on your feature branch. Another developer does the same. Take the main branch, create feature two, and they work on their feature two, and you work on your feature one. Okay, now there is three branches: main, feature one, feature two. Okay, you go on and work on your feature one for a day, 2 days, a week, perhaps. Okay, but once you're done with the development, you tested your features and all that, you can merge that feature branch back into main branch. Okay, so once you merge your feature into main, the other developer can pull your code, okay, and merge the new code that you pushed up to main, into their feature 2 branch. Okay, now they have your code. Okay, if something else was also merged into main branch, they will have that code as well. Once they're done working on that, they push back up to main branch, and then you pull it. Okay, that's one way. Now let's say the main branch is tied to deployment. Anyone, whenever something is merged into main branch, it's deployed to the server. Okay, now what we don't want is, whenever you merge something into the main branch, we don't want it to keep deploying on, maybe you push something bad. Okay, now you're not gonna fix that bug and then push it back up, or the other developer push something bad. Okay, so you got main branch, like I said, and two feature branch. What we can do, we can put something in the middle. So you got main branch, development branch, and then two feature branch. Now instead of pushing everything to the main branch, you're merging it. Instead of merging everything into the main branch, you're merging them into the development branch that sits in the middle. So you work on your feature as usual, and you merge that into development branch. Someone else works on their stuff, they merge into the dev branch as well, then they pull it down. Okay, so they have their code, they have your code, you have obviously your code, and then you have their code as well. Okay, that's how we do it. Once it's ready, okay, you can put all the code which is going to development. You can take the development branch and then merge all that code into main. Okay, we don't merge the code into main until all the work is done, all the work has been tested. Meanwhile, it sits on the development branch. Okay, that's usual git flow model, what most of the companies use. Another thing is trunk based. Trunk based means, like I said initially, you work directly on the main branch. So you clone the main branch, you start your work. Okay, and then you merge it back into the main. Someone else does the same, and well, actually, sorry, you're not merging into the main. You're actually just pushing it up because there is no additional branches here. So let me just reiterate. Trunk-based development is you pull the main branch, you work on it, you push the code back up. Someone else does the same. Obviously, if there is conflict, there is going to be conflicts if you start working on the same file or something like that. Okay, but that's what the trunk-based development is. It's the most simple way of developing. That's what also most solo developers do, but also works pretty well when you're working in a company. So if I were to show you, I'll just show you how the trunk based development looks. Let me just draw something here. You've got the main branch, dev 1, dev 2, So this is how it looks. Okay, so you got the main branch. Developer one pulls the code, pushes back up. Right, developer two pulls the code, pushes it back up. Now it's possible when you push the code to main branch, it'll automatically deploy the code to the server. Okay, obviously we don't want that, correct? So that's where the problem is. Maybe you don't have the auto deployment set up, so in which case you will have to deploy manually. So that's the main branch stuff. Now I'll also show you the gitflow quickly. You got the main branch. Just give me one sec. Dev1, feature 1, dev2, feature 2. Okay, give me one sec, I'll show you. So now this is the gitflow model. All right, what are we looking at here? This is the main branch. Okay, then you got two developers working on not directly on the main branch, like here. They're working on a separate branch. Okay, they pulled the main branch, then they created a new branch of the main branch. They work on their stuff and then push it back up. Okay, that's gitflow. Now what you could do, for example, here in the middle, for example, you could have a dev branch here in the middle. As you can see, there's a dev branch here. So now I'm going to show you what would happen if there is a dev branch there in the middle. Just bear with me here. You got the main, dev, feature 1, feature 2. Now what's happening here, as you can see, two developers working on new branches, and they're pushing the code into the dev branch. Okay, now eventually you're gonna have so much code on dev branch that's been tested, you might want to deploy it to the main branch. So you will take the code from dev and then you finally merge that code into the main branch. So what's the benefit is that all the developers can work here. Okay, if something breaks, okay, I'll fix it, or I'll fix it and I'll push it back to the dev if something breaks. Okay, when the code is ready, you can obviously finally push it to the main branch. That's gitflow. Essentially, it's not more complicated than this. Obviously, you can have continuous integration where you merge into whenever you merge into dev branch, for example, it'll run the tests. Okay, it'll make sure there is no conflict. If there is, it's gonna fail. Okay, obviously then you can also have continuous deployment, right? So you can create releases, or you can have a separate branch called release branch. Yeah, what does that mean? So whenever you have your work ready on the dev branch, you merge it finally into the release branch, which will deploy your code to the server. Okay, but that's how this model generally is, and a lot of the companies mostly use gitflow model. And the reason I made this video is because it's really complicated when you watch when you read articles, because they're like 50 pages article. Nobody has time for that. And to be fair, I've been doing development for some time. Even I don't know all the ins and outs of Git branch and how things work, this and that. You know, I know the basics, and that's what I use every day. There's config, we do this. Okay, but yeah, that's a little tutorial for you. Literally, what, 10 minutes now, and I hope it helps. And yeah, be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Good luck.